Do you want to meet Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander, the real Frog Brothers? Join us, the Frog Brothers Podcast, August 20th and 21st in San Antonio, Texas for the Summer of Santa Carla presented by Kings of Horror. Help celebrate the 35th anniversary of one of our favorite films, The Lost Boys. With screenings, autographs, artists, vendors, oddities, readings, comics, food, and more. Plus your favorite podcast hosts, Alec, Justin, and Nick. Go to socialrevoltstore.com for tickets and be sure to follow Kings of Horror on Instagram for updates. Looking to win tickets? Listen to the Frog Brothers Podcast from now until the event and be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts for more chances to win. At Frog Bros Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see you in Texas.
Yeehaw!
Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from The Lost Boys, and you're watching the Frog Brothers Podcast.
What's Scooby-Doo running from a spooky ghost?
It's refreshment time, folks.
Are either one of these any good?
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV? No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me Shell. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only...
Finish him.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to a special episode of the Frog Bros Podcast. My name is Justin.
I am Alec.
And I'm Nick. And tonight's special guest is Erin Holt. So Erin was one of the stand-ins for Corey Haim on the set of The Lost Boys. So obviously we're a huge Lost Boys fans, so welcome to the show, Erin. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Excellent. So obviously you are part of the pop culture zeitgeist that we are all in love with here, and I think what's it feel like to be part of that legacy?
It's pretty awesome, actually. But growing up, I lived in Santa Clarita, Valencia area, so movies and actors and all that were a part of my life. I was never aspiring to be an actor or anything like that, but I was excited to be a part of this movie. And when we were filming it, we didn't know how amazing it was going to be.
So amazing that they've even decided that they're going to remake it, but that's a story for another day. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but we're open-minded about it, but I think it's hard to mess with perfection.
It's not going to be.
So Alec here has done some stand-in work himself, so he kind of understands the whole process of that.
When I lived in Memphis, CMT shot a TV show called Sun Records there, and I was the stand-in for I don't remember the actor's name, but he's the oldest son in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He played Russ.
Oh, Russ. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he was awesome, though. So,
for those of you who don't know, right, if you're new to the concept of a stand-in is basically going to be standing on set so that the actor or the talent, whatever you want to call it, is not having to stand around while they set up lighting and everything there. So you're basically kind of there as a similar height to make sure all the camera angles look good, all the lights match the angles, and you're there for the blocking of the scene. So does that sound about right to both of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. So what were the hours like for you doing that, Erin?
12-hour days minimum.
Yep.
We did have, they kind of kept it to 12 because of rules.
Yeah, labor rules, sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How well did you get to know the cast when you were kind of filling in? I know they're probably kind of coming and going in their comfortable spot, and you're over there doing the hard work for them.
Yeah, there was a lot of downtime, so we would sit around and talk, and that was before cell phones. So, 1986, we were filming it, so we had a lot of time to just sit around and talk, and we had a good time getting to know everybody. Most of the actors were my age. I was 19 when I was filming it, and the younger actors were 5 years younger than me, but most of the other actors were my age and a little bit older.
So it felt like a little bit of a family kind of environment then with friends.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do you keep in touch with anybody from then?
No.
No? Okay. I didn't know. There's some people that, are lifelong friends from one thing, and you never know how that stuff goes.
No, I stayed in the industry for a little bit after that and worked on some other films and some TV shows as an extra. And I was an office assistant on Fearless. And then I got married and moved away from Hollywood.
You moved away. Well, yeah. I'm sure it was a fun ride while you were there. It's great stories for the family, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What was the most memorable thing you remember from being on set there? Anything crazy or something that you always flash back to when you think of your time there?
I don't know. Playing foosball with the Frog Brothers. I don't know. We sat around and talked a lot. I really started hanging around the stuntmen and the cast, the stunt players, because that's what I was interested in. So every time there were stunts being filmed, I was hanging around them, learning. I was really interested in learning if there was anything I wanted to do on the set as a future career. So I was hanging around different entities, wardrobe, makeup, things like that.
I think that's a great way to get your foot in the door. So if anyone's out there looking, right, that's kind of one of the things, just be observant, pay attention, and more importantly, to kind of know your place there, but, take as much in as you can, because that goes a long way, and having the right attitude, I think, really takes people a long way in this industry.
Did you ever get to do any stunts in your time, time in Hollywood?
The very last scene of Lost Boys, where Grandpa backs the truck in and the chimney or the fireplace explodes, I was actually in that scene. There was no stunt players that day, and there was too much smoke for the actors to inhale, so they had us stand in, wear the costumes, and we sat there and had to inhale the smoke. I got stunt pay for that.
So you're in the movie then?
Nice.
Well, no, you can see we were hiding under, the couch was like, wearing the.
It's your claim to fame, but it's all right, because you're there, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. You're like, I got to do one scene. No.
I have to check stuff to say stunt pay.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I guess you really get all those old school style stubs in the heyday there. Now everything's digital, I'm sure. So you're like, let me print off my PDF of this.
You'd be surprised, actually.
Oh, yeah?
At least when I worked on...
You're still getting paper checks?
When I worked on that Sun Records ones, yeah, they were mailing paper checks, at least for extras. But that depends on who they hire to hire extras. Usually they hire a company that...
Aren't residual checks that actors get still paper?
Probably depends on their...
I don't know how the higher-up ones work. But if they're hired by the extra agency, no, because they wouldn't hire even like people with bit lines and stuff too, small roles for just local stuff.
I'm sure most of that higher-end stuff's going through an entertainment lawyer and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, it depends, because if it's a big sum, some of it's weekly, some of it's... And if it's like a big Hollywood budget stuff, then they're talking about like down the road, theatrical sales and ticket sales and whatnot too. So it's a whole thing.
So how did you get the role in The Lost Boys? How did you come up with this?
My uncle married. My uncle is William Beasley. Bill Beasley. He was the first assistant director on Lost Boys. So he hired me. If you look up his IMDb, he has a really good list of jobs.
William Beasley?
Yeah. Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's a staple in our household. I'll tell you that.
He was, I don't remember what he did on that, but I also got to go to that set. That was amazing. But I didn't work on it. But he said, if you want to be, I was already in the Screen Extras Guild. So he said, we're hiring extras, we're hiring stand-ins. So I got a job for you for the summer. I said, I'm in. So he said, we're going to have you stand in for Corey Haim. I said, he's very short. I was about a foot taller than him. They didn't care. They just wanted the blonde hair.
Sure.
So I also stood in for Alex Winter occasionally when he was not walking.
Okay, yeah.
One time, a couple times, so nothing exciting.
Yeah, he did Arachnophobia, Basic Instinct, Cable Guy. I know he did last summer, 1 and 2.
Oh, those are all staples here.
Yeah, there's that's quite the resume.
He's
That's
still
awesome.
working too.
He'd be a good interview.
Yeah.
Love to chat with him sometime.
Well, yeah, get us in touch with him. For that.
He's retired now. I don't think he'd be.
So you got to spend
anyway,
an
so
entire
it's
summer.
Who you know. It's who you know in Hollywood.
For sure. So that had to be the best summer break ever.
Oh yeah.
Anything that you want to share that you remember about your time?
When we were in, oh my God, where'd they film it? the beach.
Oh, by the
Santa
Little
Cruz.
Dipper over
When
there.
we were in Santa Cruz.
Mhm.
That was fun. I didn't actually work. I was there watching. I got to help out my aunt, but we were watching all the filming. Got to watch all the night shoots and all that. So that was amazing, just to be up there with that crowd and that film crew and all the fun stuff.
I'm sure behind the scenes alone would just be like, especially for huge movie fans like us, it'd just be something like just to take in and just really just soak it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being on the set every day, the cave that they filmed most of the scenes in was amazing. The house was an actual, I swear it was a house. It had the most comfortable furniture, and the stairs really went somewhere into other rooms. The house was a real house on the set. It was interesting. And then the cave was its own set, and the train trestle where all the stunts were.
That's pretty wild.
Did you get to keep any of the taxidermy?
No.
No? Looks like there's quite a bit for everybody.
And no one is going to say anything now, but did you take any souvenirs home for yourself?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
But I got, but because I was part of the crew, I got the jacket, and I got invited to the wrap party. And
Oh yeah, you were showing off your jacket in the Lost Boys group the other day.
Yeah. One of the fun scenes at the very beginning of the movie, the two people are in the car making out. Well, there was written in the script that they were making out, but me and the stand-in decided there was comic books all over the floor of the backseat of the car, and the name of the comic book was Sad Sack. And I thought that was hilarious. So me and the other stand-in were talking, we were laughing while they were setting up the stunt. And I thought, well, shouldn't be a makeout scene. It should just be her reading the comic book and then him trying to go in. And Joel liked that, so he put it in the scene. He changed it from as it was written to say, yeah, let's have her slap him, and then they get attacked. So
Classic.
That's awesome. I mean, it takes it away from being so cliche to like having some real life, like something you're thinking about doing in that time. You're like, I'd rather be reading a comic book than hanging out with this guy.
Yeah.
Let's change that. That's awesome.
Do you have any interesting stories about Joel Schumacher specifically?
He was just the sweetest guy, and very, very sweet. I mean, he was always listening to music, is all I remember. But very determined to get a fun movie made. That's what I remember.
Well, it's definitely fun. I remember first time seeing it being like terrified, but just loving it to death at the same time. It's like got everything you want in a classic 80s film. So pretty incredible how that still holds up to this day watching it.
Oh, it's so good. It's, I don't know. Yeah, there's just something about it that's comforting to watch, but that's probably tied to the nostalgia of watching it as a child, but still.
For sure.
Yeah. How old were you when you saw it the first time?
Let's see. I was born in '84, so I'm a youngin' here. Yeah, I mean, I guess young enough, but old enough too.
Yeah, we were 4 years old watching the bad movies. So.
I was born in '91.
He's a lot younger than us.
Yeah. But I don't remember ever watching it for the first time. There's like probably 10 movies that I don't ever remember watching for the first time. They're just in my brain.
Whenever it first hit HBO or whatever is probably when I first watched it. So 4, 5, whatever.
Yeah, I was probably 5 or 6, I would say. I would guess. Something like that. My aunt would always like bring over boatloads of movies when we'd stay at my grandma's house, and she'd just bring over everything she taped. So, like, that's where I got my early start in movies and everything else there. So
I feel like
so you didn't see it on the big screen. You didn't see it.
No, I've seen it on the big screen only one time, and it was pretty awesome. One of the local theaters here did a double.
Oh
feature.
yeah, we see these old movies now, but not. Not when we were 5 or whatever,
but still beats seeing the pan and scan on TV. Going to see it at a theater sometimes. Still better late than never, as they say.
What did we saw it at Screenland, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a double feature with The Craft.
The Craft, that's right. Yeah.
So did you get to go to the premiere for this?
I don't remember them having a premiere.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that didn't really wasn't necessarily a huge thing then, but it started.
I don't remember when, but
Any other notable films that you've been involved with?
Fearless. The Jeff Bridges movie. You know that movie? I was a production assistant on that.
Oh, I bet that was exciting.
Yeah.
Production assistant, which basically means you get to do anything and everything that needs to get done.
Well, I was in the office, which was great. I didn't have to hang out on set, which I wouldn't have minded. But one of the things, I was assigned one day to get Jeff Bridges his lunch.
What did he order?
We were in San Francisco, and I had to get his lunch from this restaurant, and I had to drive it to the set, which was like 5 miles away. Wasn't very far, but I made the wrong turn.
Oh no.
And I got lost. I wasn't native to San Francisco, so I didn't know where I was going. This is before cell phones. So
Right.
I'm driving around, and I finally made it to the set, and he was the nicest person ever. He was so grateful just to have his lunch, and it was just steamed vegetables and brown rice. It wasn't very exciting, but he thanked me for bringing him his lunch, and he was not mad at all. The assistant director was really pissed that I was late. And
always are.
So kind. He was the nicest man. So
seems like it.
Yeah.
That's a good one there.
That's my experience with assistant directors. They're always like
they've
on
got
edge.
That sense of urgency because they want everything to go right. I get it. You carry an elevated level of stress, I'm sure, with that. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, definitely appreciate you jumping on here and talking about your experience with that. Any final words of wisdom for anybody before we wrap up with you?
Well, I don't know. I was in an era of the Screen Extras Guild was before Screen merged with the Screen Actors Guild, and Screen Extras Guild disbanded in like 1990. So I was lucky to be a part of something that doesn't exist anymore. So it was a fun time. I had great memories. It was part of my childhood. So
well, that's awesome. Congratulations on that. You're locked in the pop culture forever now, I think. I don't think you can escape that. So we'll all know. And knowing behind the scenes stuff, that's what we live for on the show. Knowing how it was made, what was made.
We'll look for you next time we watch it.
Yeah, we'll
in the smoke and rubble.
You'll see in the cave, there's a big pan real quick. My name is on the wall. They wrote Erin.
Oh.
The set painter said he did it for his daughter, and I said, no, we'll say it's for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my name's actually on the wall. My kids love that. So.
Oh, that's great.
Classic.
All right, well, we'll try to get a screen grab you in that final scene in the smoke, and we'll send it to you. We'll nail it down. Let us know if we're right or not.
Okay.
All right, well, we appreciate your time, Erin. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.